Welcome to January Astrology. I'm Colleen Pearl, the Cool Crone, and I will be your astrologer today for the entire month of January's astrological forecast. And in this video, we will take a look at planetary ingresses, retrograde planets, and planetary aspects. And just so that we keep the YouTube gods happy, let me state up front that this video is produced for entertainment purposes only. Now, this month's astrology will cover all the planetary action for the month of January, as I said, and this year starts out with a lot of activity, including a beautiful full moon in Cancer on the 6th. I hope you'll all watch my full moon video, which gives predictions for each sign about how to navigate this lunation. Now let's talk about the planetary action happening this month. Let's start with the planetary ingresses. On January 2nd, Venus will enter the sign of Aquarius. On the 8th, Black Moon Lilith will enter the sign of Leo. And on January 25th, Venus will enter the sign of Pisces. So let's talk about Venus in Aquarius. When Venus enters Aquarius, we will feel freer to express ourselves and yet give less of a you-know-what about what people think. Gone is the desire to have the best of everything, as it was with Venus in Capricorn. And with this freedom comes the desire to be ourselves in all ways. In romance, we may love the art of flirting and enjoy the stimulation that it brings. But romance? I think not, sir. We are not about commitment with Venus in Aquarius. We are about having a fun, lighthearted flirt and then moving on to save the world. So let me rephrase what I just said about commitment. Not commitment to a new relationship, but yes, Venus in Aquarius would be very committed to humanitarian efforts and also anything that would serve the self. Now, you may find that your desire to help others and give of yourself will be strong, rather than a romantic inclination of any kind. On January 8th, when Black Moon Lilith enters Leo, Lilith will want to show off. Those bright red unmentionables may come out of the back of the closet for you to wear every chance you get. A bit of liberation here to go along with Venus in Aquarius. You may feel that the world deserves your full self on display, whatever that may be. Also, you will be much more compassionate towards those who have something they feel they have to hide. On the 25th, with Venus entering Pisces, Venus will go on to the next sign, and Pisces is the epitome of compassion and care. Yes, here we have romantic and spiritual love in its purest form. So most of us will soften to this love vibe. If you are already a smush ball, then you need to be careful not to let others take advantage of you. But otherwise, this is a great time to work on your outward appearance, create amazing artwork of any kind, delve deeply into spiritual practices, and generally help others in the world by raising your vibration. And now let's move on to retrograde planets. December 29th, 2022, Mercury went retrograde in Capricorn. Mercury went retrograde just in time for the New Year's Eve celebrations. Mercury retrograde in Earth signs will concern our finances, the banking system, our currency, including crypto, our food, agriculture, our careers, and public status. For more information, please see my Mercury retrograde for 2023 video, which is up on my channel now. Mars retrograde in Gemini. We still have the holdups of any true violence. Notice that the uprising in Germany in December was stopped before it began, but notice that the diplomatic efforts to free Brittany Griner were successful. So Mars retrograde in Gemini has its purpose. This will continue for the first 12 days of January. And then Mars stations direct in Gemini on January 12th, after which he will move forward. Watch for lots of things that have been on hold concerning the government, voting, diplomacy, negotiations, and any other forceful Geminian activity push forward with a blast of power after this date or even on this date. Uranus retrograde in Taurus. You may have become used to the slow activity concerning our supply chains and agriculture, but nonetheless, we still have things in our grocery stores and we still can buy gas. However, when Uranus moves forward, it will be much easier to see what was being held up. Uranus stations direct in Taurus on January 27th. Uranus' main purpose is to have us evaluate our own growth in relation to our values. Simply put, we need to upgrade or update our own daily habits or routines to fit the way we want to succeed and thrive in our own life. Most likely, you set yourself on a path a decade or so ago, and now along comes Uranus in 2018 and begins to shake up your routine. Good, that's what it's meant to do. And these retrograde periods are opportunities for you to make the evaluations. When the planet moves forward, you have your new routine in place and it feels good. It may not feel entirely comfortable yet, but it will in a little while. Planetary aspects for the week of January 1st through the 7th. On January 1st, Venus will conjunct Pluto. Venus will be at 27 degrees Capricorn, 39 minutes, as will Pluto. This is intense. This combination brings very intense feelings of love or attraction. Now, the next day, Venus will go into Aquarius, where you will feel very independent and may look on your subject with more objective and a dispassionate eye. Resist the urge to manipulate this person with your charms, and please don't actually start up a new romance on this day. The intensity will wear off, as will the affection once this transit moves on. On January 2nd, we have 4 aspects: the Sun square Chiron, Venus opposition Lilith, Mercury sextile Neptune, and Venus sextile Jupiter. This means that generally, this is going to be an interesting day. So let's take each of those aspects one by one. January 2nd, the Sun at 11 degrees Capricorn 31, squaring Chiron at 11 degrees Aries 58. You may want to heal in some way or to help someone else heal, but will have a little difficulty pinpointing what the true problem is. Listen to your inner voice for guidance, and that may help you. This healing may be twofold. In order to help, you may need to learn a new way of hearing your guides or feeling your healing power. Once you do, the healing will take place quite naturally. Venus opposing Lilith. Venus will be at 28 degrees Capricorn 55, and Lilith will be at 29 degrees of Cancer 17 minutes. This also coincides with Venus moving into Aquarius and Lilith moving into Leo. Quite an intense combo, which is amplified by Venus conjuncting Pluto. I'd say that those who are sensitive to this one, which would mean people with planets in the fixed signs in early degrees like 1, 2, or 3, or with planets in the cardinal signs in the very late degrees, 27, 28, 29, are in for a couple of days where they will experience an extremely intense, passionate, compelling attraction with one another. An attraction that may feel overwhelming and have qualities that are unusual to the extreme. Be careful here, and don't expect that this will last long. The intensity of the encounter may leave you breathless. Mercury at 22 degrees Capricorn, 55 minutes, in sextile to Neptune at 22 degrees Pisces, 53 minutes. This is a magnificent time to connect with your angels and guides, also to work on artistic and creative projects. Have fun with your imagination. If composing music or writing an important paper, you will have plenty of inspiration. So those are the 4 aspects for January 2nd. And I am anticipating that because this is a prelude to the full moon, which is also a very powerful configuration of planetary energy, something pretty stupendous is going to be happening in the first week of January. Moving on, January 4th. Venus at 1 degrees Aquarius, 25 minutes, sextile Jupiter at 1 degrees Aries, 35 minutes. This is a very lucky aspect. Use this energy to get something you really want but have missed out on in the past. If you're attempting to start a relationship with someone, you could see a doorway opening for you. Good luck. Then on January 5th, we have the Sun trine Uranus. The Sun will be at 14 degrees Capricorn, 35 minutes. Uranus will be at 15 degrees Taurus, 4 minutes. And remember that at this point, Uranus is still retrograde. This transit brings sudden inspiration or sudden recognition of past deeds. You may feel showered with praise and accolades if you have these degrees in your chart. If you're planning some big event, this is the day to do it. A grand opening or something similar, but match up your degrees. Uranus can be unpredictable, but when coupled with the Sun, most likely it will be a positive surprise. January 6th, the full moon in Cancer at 16 degrees, 21 minutes. The full moon in Cancer finds our emotions at a 10, and we want to cook and feed and eat comfort food with our families in our homes. We may become needy and over-emotional about simple things, but if you can spend time in your home, you will be happiest surrounded by your family. If that's not possible, try doing a small home project by yourself and improve your domestic setting in some way. Cancer is a cardinal sign, so it's good at starting things. It's also a very private sign, so they like to keep their secrets or at least spend a fair amount of time alone or with a few trusted family members. Cancers are vulnerable, easily hurt, and sensitive. They need their homes to be safe, a place where they can retreat from the cold, hard, cruel world. For Cancer, the easiest way to say I love you is with food or by tending to our creature comforts, a warm place to sleep, a protected space, a kind word, etc. But Cancer can also become quite needy and dependent, and very often they like to have someone they can depend upon to make them feel secure. Since this sign rules the home, that safe person very often is someone in their family or their spouse. Cancers are very intuitive, and they will trust their hunches 100% of the time. See my video all about the full moon in Cancer, which will be up on my channel just a few days after this one. The next aspect happens on January 7th, the day after the full moon, where we have the Sun conjunct Mercury. And both the Sun and Mercury will be at 16 degrees Capricorn, 56 minutes. Words of power are in your control today. Look in your chart to see where you may have Earth signs at 16 degrees or planets in Capricorn or Cancer. You may have some powerful eloquence at your fingertips. If you have these degrees in Libra or Aries, you may find yourself struggling to find them. So be careful with this one. So that wraps up the first week of January. Let's move on to the second week, January 8th through the 14th. And the first aspect that we're going to talk about is Mercury trine Uranus. Mercury will be at 15 degrees Capricorn, 1 minute. Uranus will be at 15 degrees Taurus, 3 minutes. You will find the communication muse at your side today. So from the first week of January into this second week, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful for communication, for writing, for blogging, for video taping, for doing anything where you're communicating, especially to larger groups of people. Divine inspiration will be your guide if you try to write, blog, speak, sing, or play with words on this day. On the 9th, we have Venus trining Mars. Venus will be at 8 degrees Aquarius, 36 minutes. Mars will be at 8 degrees Gemini, 11 minutes. Lovely energy today for romance or business. If business, you may be the one holding all the cards, but you will also find willing partners. If in romance, this could be a relationship that will grow and flourish over time. Lots of exciting, interesting ideas and conversations with this one. January 10th, we have Venus square the North Node. Venus will be at 9 degrees Aquarius, 51. The North Node will be at 9 degrees Taurus, 40. There will be challenges to your overall feeling of destiny and mission. You may bemoan the fact that you do not know what you're supposed to do, or that you feel you've failed in your efforts. Take heart. Not every day will be inspirational or successful. There must be days when you question and evaluate your mission, or you would not recognize the days of glowing success. January 11th, Mercury squares Chiron, Mercury being at 11 degrees Capricorn, 27 minutes retrograde, squaring Chiron at 12 degrees Aries, 6 minutes. Thinking about your life, your past, your traumas, your experiences, and how they affect you in the present will monopolize your thoughts and words today. It may be a struggle, but if you can get through to see the other side, to see the why of it, you will be enlightened as to how healing will take place. On to January 12th, when we have Venus, 12 degrees Aquarius, 21, in sextile to Chiron at 12 degrees Aries, 7. On January 14th, we have both Mercury trining the node and Venus squaring Uranus. This will be a very confusing day. Mercury will be at 9 degrees Capricorn, 5 minutes retrograde, trining the north node at 9 degrees Taurus, 17 minutes. After the punishing journey with Venus squaring the node on the 10th, today's lessons will find you bringing new ideas to your life's work. You will feel more uplifted today and begin to formulate the plan that will see you forward for many years. And then we have Venus squaring Uranus, Venus being at Aquarius, 14 degrees 51 minutes, and Uranus being at 14 degrees 58 minutes of Taurus, still retrograde. Surprising revelations about a relationship or business partner may leave you stunned. You can't really prepare for this, so just try to roll with it. If this leaves you without a long-time relationship, realize that it is for the best. Okay, then we go on to the next week, January 15th through the 21st, but amazingly during that week, no aspects are made, so nada for that week. And then we go on to January 22nd through the 28th, and this brings us to January 22nd, where we also have two aspects on the same day, but I'm just going to read them separately. So on the 22nd, Mercury is at 9 degrees Capricorn, 4 minutes, and he's no longer retrograde, so we're out of that. And it's going to trine the north node at 9 degrees of Taurus at 4 minutes. And this means that you will have more time spent contemplating your future and what your legacy may be. So after all that confusion with the north node aspects in the previous weeks, things will kind of settle down. And now you will have the ability in these earth signs to just contemplate what is happening. The universe urges you to be clear about where you're heading, and you're going to take the time to figure it out. In addition, on that same day, we will have Venus conjuncting Saturn, also a very serious down-to-earth aspect. Venus will be at 24 degrees Aquarius, 7 minutes. Saturn will be at 24 degrees, 43 minutes. The work must be the work you love, or you will not do it. And if that's the case, you will shame yourself relentlessly for not accomplishing your goal. Try to embrace a project that you love with this energy so that you can complete it and feel good about it. And that is really the problem when Venus and Saturn combine, is that it will shame you, make you feel guilty, embarrassed, make you feel less than. So that is the energy to resist. Fortunately, with both Saturn in Aquarius and Venus in Aquarius, it's much more uplifting with the air sign energy, and you may not feel quite as low as you would say if this were in Capricorn. And then on January 27th, we have Mercury squaring Chiron. Mercury will be at 12 degrees Capricorn, 57 minutes, and Chiron will be at 12 degrees Aries, 30 minutes. This dance with Chiron all month leaves you feeling more than a little confused. And the Chiron feelings may kind of wrap into your North Node feelings, but the Chiron part of it is the healing, the trauma, things from your past that you have to rectify, heal, solve, get over, cure. Whereas the North Node things are more things about your legacy, what will you leave behind, what's your mission, what have you accomplished in your life's work. So back to Chiron. The dance with Chiron leaves you feeling more than a little confused. Why should this be so hard? I feel that this transit will have more of you doing evaluation rather than wondering what to do. So I do think that little space in time where you have spent contemplating your legacy, your future, your mission, will also inform what's going on here between Mercury and Chiron. But I do want to emphasize that they are two different energies. And now let's just round up the aspects for the rest of the month, January 29th to the 31st. The first aspect is Mercury trine Uranus. So again, more inspiration. Mercury will be at 14 degrees Capricorn 57, and Uranus will be at 14 degrees Taurus 57. Here comes the inspiration you need to move forward in your work. The inspiration brought by Uranus will give you a lift just in time for Mercury to go retrograde and have you reviewing all sorts of things all over again. So that's what we have there. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support throughout 2022. Please subscribe, like, and leave comments on this video. I've looked at what you all really watch and what you comment about, so I'll be giving you more of the videos that you like and watch in 2023. I'll be doing more pick-a-card videos for ETs, angels, and I hope, if I have time, fairies. More meditations, monthly astrology will continue, full moon predictions will continue, political readings are being introduced. Will be a combination of tarot and astrology that I'm calling Politarology. These will be live streams in collaboration with other YouTube readers and sometimes just by myself. And of course, I'll continue to do readings and interviews with other YouTubers to bring you more wonderful people from this amazing community. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.